Welcome to Cult Macabre, a phantasmagoric guide to pop culture's dark side. I'm Lee.
And I'm Richie.
And today we bring to you the story of the Demon Cat of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, this is a haunting. We haven't done a haunting episode in a very long time, actually.
But we count the Winchester Mystery House as a haunted episode?
I think so. It's a mystery, it's a haunting. I think this is also kind of in that same category of a mystery and a haunting. It just makes me think of our cats and how not demon they are. But the Demon Cat of D.C. has always been referred to as a black cat.
Black cat, or sometimes referenced as a tabby cat. We get a little bit of both.
Maybe it's just a black and orange tabby cat, like it's some kind of hybrid.
When the light hits it just right.
It's black and orange. It's like a pumpkin cat.
All I know is when our black cat Emmy is sitting in the sunshine on the windowsill, sometimes when the sun hits her just right, you see these like almost reddish, brownish stripies in her fur. It's really subtle and only the sun brings it out, but you know.
This story is fun to talk about, honestly, but it cracks me up because, like, we'll get into it in a second, but, like, whenever you Google Demon Cat of D.C., like, some of the pictures that pop up, like, one literally is labeled Black Cat Peering Over a Wall in Washington, D.C., and it's just, like, the top half of the cat's head, and all I can picture is that meme where the cat's going, Thune.
I feel like every cat owner can look at this and be like, that's my cat.
Probably so. But anyway, this is fun for me because I've actually never heard of this until just very recently when you brought it up when we were discussing, hey, what do we want to do this season? And you're like, what about the Demon Cat of DC? And I was like, please tell me that this is a DC comic character. What the fuck is that?
This cat deserves to be a DC comic book character, but this particular myth originates around it dates back to about the mid-1800s. So back in yonder olden times.
Yonder
olden times.
Back to yonder olden times.
Where they, quote, had rice and mats as big as house cats in the lower levels, the basement levels of like the Capitol building. They actually released a whole bunch of cats down there to help them mouse them out and catch some of the rodents that were causing them issues.
The mid-1800s.
Yeah. Old enough for us.
Back in my day in the 1800s. You know what's fucked up? I'm going to like sidebar here. The fact that we are just now referring to 30 years ago as the late 1900s, and I'm getting fucking mind blown by that. So
is it weird hearing that you were born in the 1900s compared to like
in the late 1900s? It's weird because we grew up talking about the 1800s like it wasn't that long ago. Like when I was born, the 1800s were less than 90 years old at that point.
That's really weird to think about.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the Demon Cat, as it were.
So supposedly, after these cats were released in the buildings to help with this issue, and even after the issue was taken care of, there was always this rumor floating around that maybe one of the cats had passed away during this time and had never actually left the building, even after its death.
Yeah, this was a crypt in the basement of the Capitol building is what they're talking about.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, supposed to be, this was a burial chamber for George Washington.
Yeah, something along those lines. Apparently this cat, the image of the cat, started popping up before presidential elections and like what they consider to be major tragedies vis-a-vis assassinations of John F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln and whatnot. So this cat, whether it's black or tabby, has been reported to have glowing red eyes, has also been reported to grow increasingly large in size, sometimes as big as 10 by 10 feet. Which is enormous. Imagine this elephant-sized cat coming at you.
This is exactly what our cats all think they do when they get pissed off at us.
Otis is the only one who's actually big enough to fit that vision. Boy got dumps like a truck.
Fucker's huge.
He's huge. They're just seeing Otis's distant cousin.
By the way, if this is your first time listening to our podcast, the cats that we speak of that are our cats reside on the artwork to our show. So you can pick Otis out because he's on the far right with his wonky ear and his big old body.
All his heft.
That's it.
He's hefting that mass.
Yeah, he is. He's a 10 by 10 elephant cat.
10 by 10 elephant cat. But supposedly, if attention was drawn to this cat, the cat would like leap or pounce at people and then just like disappear into midair. And I believe in one instance, there was even a recorded happenstance of a man who fired at the cat, like literally pulled his gun out. One of the Capitol guards, I believe, pulled his gun out and fired at the cat, and it just disappeared into nothingness.
A lot of people talk about black cats as being bad luck, and I think that's why this cat is often depicted as like
harbinger of doom.
Yeah. Doom cat, even.
Doom cat.
Okay, so of all the cats, one, right? Is that what they're saying? Like, it's just a cat?
It's one specific cat, yes, that has managed to surpass the grip of death and continue to haunt the Capitol building, which I also will note, Tate, that I don't think it's been seen, or like it hasn't been reported that it's been seen since around World War II. So that's something, at least.
So it's been almost 100 years, like not literally that number, but we're getting close.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been 84 years. It's been probably just about. It's been 84 years since I have seen the Demon Cat of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how I would feel telling this fucking story from back then. It's been 84 years. But it's kind of crazy. Like, I remembered like doing a little reading on this, and they talk about how, like you said, the last official, quote, official sighting of this ghost cat was in the aftermath of WW2. So there are people that still tour the Capitol building to this day that they look for this thing. And it's always like, oh, shadows, or I thought I heard this cat, or I see these red eyes. And it's like, okay, but
I'm really curious how they separate what is a credible sighting of this creature versus a non-credible sighting of this creature.
Maybe it's kind of how like you have to have certain clearance to get into sections in the White House and in like all these official buildings. It's like the higher your credentials are, the better chance you have of being believed about it. Like,
nobody off the street comes in here and just says they've seen the Demon Cat of D.C.
Like, I took a tour and saw the Demon Cat of D.C. Nah, fuck you. I don't believe you.
Excuse me, the Demon Cat does not reveal itself to citizens.
YouTube hasn't citizens. You have to have at least a level 3 clearance.
If you didn't serve in the Men in Black at least once, you cannot see the Demon Cat of D.C.
That's why nobody sees it, because they get what the little
memory wipe.
Yeah.
It is fun to know as well, or rather interesting to know, that it is a common opinion that back in the day, most of the sightings of this cat are considered to come from people who were possibly drunk while on the clock, so to speak.
That's about right.
So they think that there was like the very first sighting, the one that they consider like one of the more credible ones. They think it was one of the Capitol patrolmen who were drunk and they passed out on the ground and woke up. You know how like you open your eyes and you're like looking at an unfamiliar like view and you're like, where the fuck am I? This guy was on his side. He saw this cat like in front of him and he was like, oh my god, the cat's as big as a fucking elephant, man. Still like half drunk, although I made him sound like stoned in that moment. But you know, whatever this man was going through, he was having a time.
2 shots of vodka.
But he thought this cat, this probably poor little house cat that probably just licked him on the fucking face or some shit, thought it was this 10-foot demon.
That's fucking still hilarious to me though, because he's drunk, but because he's a government official, they still believe his ass.
Somebody had to write a report on this man seeing this demon cat. That's fantastic.
Steve living good, because he be living good. He was the chief tour guide of the United States Capitol Historical Society. He said the Capitol, like you said, the Capitol Police Force was notorious for hiring unqualified relatives and friends of congressmen as favors. I mean, that still kind of happens today, but whatever. And these men would frequently be drunk while on patrol.
Ripperoni, dude. Imagine being drunk and seeing this cat and being like, oh my god, another world war's about to fucking start, man. We're in for it, dude.
And you know what's fucked up also is that they talk about the last real, quote, official sighting of this being in the 1940s. However, they've talked about the cat, like an apparition of this cat happening shortly before 9/11 and subsequent tragedies here in the United States, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, there have been quote unquote unofficial sightings of the cat around other main events.
Just remember, you have to be at least a level 3 clearance drunk United States government official to have seen this cat and be believed.
Now, I will say that there is some physical evidence that exists, according to some people, and there are pictures of this online. There's some paw prints in the cement in the Capitol building that they say to be evidence of the demon cat's existence.
And it could have been just some asshole cat that walked while they were concreting.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's in the small Senate rotunda. In 1898, the Capitol building was actually damaged by a gas explosion. In some spots, the original stone was completely replaced by concrete, and they think it's more than possible that a cat walked across the wet concrete after it had been laid, literally just enough to leave some impressions. Apparently, it's right as you come out of the old Supreme Court chamber. There's like 6 to 8 really clear paw prints, and someone even put DC right under them in the concrete, saying that that was the demon cat putting its initials there.
Well, then, they talked about relocating, like the myth or whatever, that they've talked about relocating the demon cat from the U.S. Capitol to the White House. Just to like further perpetuate its story and make it more credible. And the White House kind of already has a lot of ghost stories attached to it in the first place.
It does. And I think I did read somewhere in one of the articles I was looking up when I was doing some research on this, that there was actually a president and a first lady who brought their cat to the building themselves. And it was well known for getting in and out of the building and popping up at unexplained places and being gone for days at a time. So
that would be the Coolidges.
Yes, thank you. I could not remember which one it was, but yeah, that was the thing going around for a while too, is that the demon cat was actually their cat that they brought with them.
Tiger.
Was it not? Oh, I thought I read it was Tiger somewhere, but I can't.
Well, no, it is Tiger, but they nicknamed it Tig, I guess, with
gotcha.
no R.
Oh, Tig. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine serving as a president or first lady in the White House and your cat becomes more famous than you do.
The fact that we knew about the cat before, like, wait, that's the Coolidges, man.
This may or may not be embarrassing, but I couldn't tell you a damn thing about that president, but I do know the cat.
All I know is if they're related to Jennifer Coolidge, no wonder it's so American. It makes them want a hot dog real bad.
Love that woman.
Yeah. But from like a folklore perspective in many different cultures and countries, the cats, like I said, they're looked at just bad. And I'm like, why the fuck, man? And I think it's because like cats are nocturnal and they're associated with like witchcraft and shit.
And although originally black cats were seen as a symbol of good luck, with Christians becoming paranoid and shit like that, it was kind of warped to become more of a bad luck kind of feature, which is unfortunate. Black colored animals get a really bad rap and also suffer from very long wait times in adoption centers because of that.
This is why damn near all the cats that I have had in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, I like black cats, and it's not even for this reason. I like them. They're fucking awesome.
We're definitely a black cat family.
Yeah, we are. Adopt a black cat today. And that's not even like, hey, you should do that. No, just do it, because like most of the time these cats get like they get a bad rep and nobody adopts them, and they have no home to go to. So get a black cat, man. They'll think about it this way. If somebody you don't like doesn't like black cats, they won't come to your house. So it's a win-win. I'm just saying.
This feline apparition is actually listed as one of the, quote, most famous ghosts of the executive mansion as well. So adopt your black cat and have the chance for your cat to become famous in the afterlife. Who fucking knows?
I mean, it's true. Our cats are going to be immortalized forever on our podcast art.
Indeed. We love our babies.
Yeah. But yeah, the Demon Cat of D.C. If you haven't heard about this, and maybe this is like your first time hearing about it, cool. We're glad you strolled on over to our little corner of the interwebs to, hear us have a little chat about it. It's not necessarily something to super deep dive, just because there's not a lot of information about it. It's just, a purported haunting, and it dates back to the 1800s, and the Coolidges are involved with this fucking shit somehow.
It was just a fun little interesting bit to read about. You don't see a lot of you see a lot of cryptid hauntings and stuff like that and ghosts and whatever, but you don't see a lot of other small animal hauntings. So something involving like a cat or something along those lines, just it It was a nice little read. It was interesting.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next haunting we cover, the silly squirrel of San Diego. I don't think that's a thing.
San Diego.
Oh, if you're God damn it. Yes, I will not besmirch the name of San Diego ever again. Carmen San Diego.
For the record, I have been to the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and I did not see the Demon Cat, unfortunately.
And for the record, I probably will never visit the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Therefore, I will never see the Black Demon Cat.
An unsolved mystery.
Yeah, so if you guys want to do some more digging into the Demon Cat of D.C., please feel free to do so. It's not much, but there's articles out there.
It has its own official page on the White House website, I will say that, and National Geographic has, printed article on it and whatnot, so information is out there. It's an interesting little dig.
For past, present, and future episodes of Cult Macabre, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. You can leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a rating and leave comments on individual episodes on Spotify. And if you're listening to this episode on our YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to our channel, clicking the bell for notifications for future episodes, leaving a like or a comment on the video. Any engagement helps. And if you'd like to follow us on any of our social media platforms, all of this can be found in our Linktree link in the show notes below.
So if you'd like to join us for more of pop culture's dark side, sign the Black Book and join the cult. I'm Lee.
And I'm Richie.
We'll see you next time.